Hello, everyone, and welcome to Voices of Daytime. I'm your host, Tami Goveia, and it has been a day here in Los Angeles. It's been like 17 billion degrees, and I'm just so thankful to have in the room with me Kristos Andrews. Welcome, welcome.
Thanks for having me, Tammy. It's a
Thank you
pleasure.
for being here. As we were talking just before we started the show, it's such a crazy time for everybody, and so I really want to let you know and let Gregory and Celeste and everybody know how much your time is appreciated. So thank you for being with us today.
Well, thank you so much for saying so, and same to you. Time's appreciated. Thanks for having me.
When I was doing some research on you, next to your name, there's like 5 million titles. You've got X Games champion, you've got two-time Guinness record holder for skateboard, and obviously congratulations on the Emmy win this
Thank you.
this year for the daytime Emmys for lead actor, and clearly the show swept with some wins as well. And you're the first person to ever win 5 Emmys by the age of 26.
I'm very grateful. I appreciate you pointing that out, and I acknowledge my team that they're so great to work with. Gregory as a director and a co-creative, Wendy Rich, even my sister's on board, Celeste, and all together, it's a family atmosphere, and we really have that feeling that we have each other's back, and it's pure creativity at that point versus any feeling of looking left, right competitively at anyone. It's just a family strength, and I really love being in that environment, and I'm able to thrive creatively, and it's just a pure connection to whatever creative flow is happening. So I'm very grateful I'm given the opportunity to tap into that.
That kind of leads me into my question, my first real question to you. Clearly you're driven. You have a fire inside you. And I want to know what makes you get out of bed in the morning ready to tackle the mountain. And when I say the mountain, I think the first thing I think of is of creativity.
Mm, I appreciate that question very much. It's oh, man, there's a lot of, I don't know where to start in answering that, but I'll just start somewhere. I think I think it's a blessing and it's a gift already to be alive. It's already extra. It's a bonus to be a human being. We made it. This is a special thing that we're experiencing. Like if we think in terms of if we're entering into humanhood, we're entering it with great honor. It's beyond really what can be explained or comprehended, but this is just my visceral feelings about it. It's a very special journey for each and every one of us, and each and every one of us are very special human beings, and we're, I guess, a special entity on behalf of God, or what we know as that. And it's nice to wake up and carry out things based on that. And you kind of feel intuitive nudges, you feel ideas come in, you feel creativity flow in. And the most exciting parts to me are when I feel the flow happening, and I actually live in a reality where I can intellectually apply that to life as a human being. And it's very, very exciting to be able to do that. So that's what gets me giddy to wake up in the morning and just conquer the day. And then sometimes, if things aren't so great and wake up on the wrong side of the bed or whatever, I think a good practice is to remember what a gift it is just to be alive anyway, and to have the simple things in life that we tend to take for granted, which can turn people into a downward spiral sometimes because they just lose sight of what there really is to be grateful for, like straight up having the ability to just have health, or just have family, have friends, have the ability to do anything, eat any kind of food really that you can want. You can watch anything. You can plan to do anything, visit anywhere. There's so much that we should be so grateful about. But I love this. Oh, I have a feeling. I have an idea. I have a thought, and I can actually apply it to life.
There's a freedom in that, yes.
Yeah.
You know, when you have that intuitive nudge, as you mentioned before, where you have an outlet to manifest those nudges.
That's right. That's right. It's like we have the most solid outlet as human beings to manifest our nudges. It's great.
I think that's a hashtag, manifest the nudge.
You gotta manifest those nudges. The nudge. I like that.
It's funny.
It really is meant like a nudge, though.
Yeah. Like no, I totally, like, I feel that. Like, I know what that nudge is.
Yeah.
Like, for me, that comes in the solar plexus. That's where, I mean, I guess it can come as a mental image. I don't know. Where does that start with you?
I wouldn't say I attribute it to a certain part of my body, which I will be excited the day I learn where it actually feels like physically, but which is cool because you have that, but it's just an overall sensation. I feel like I'm like, oh, it's like a little bit of butterflies. Wow, that's a great idea or a great feeling. It's like in the heart. So yeah, it makes sense with the solar plexus. Starts up here. I feel like there's if you open up your head like a lid and it's coming in, and then you feel like your heart kind of connects with it, then that's even better. Awesome. Yeah. And the whole body kind of has a little tingle of like excitement. Wow, that'd be cool. And yeah, that's kind of how I feel it.
I love the story of how you met Gregory, and I mean, clearly the Bathe series is going to be celebrating its 10th year this September, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Which, when you think about it, in the daytime community, that's a really beautiful milestone. And as you said before, it really is attributed to the community that Gregory began and brought you into, and Wendy and everyone else. But I love, you said, let's see, it says, when it comes to your meeting with Gregory, you said, we met at my mom's art gallery in Marina del Rey. And you have mentioned on myriad levels and very often the fact that Gregory had faith in you, and how having faith in the process and the journey has allowed for this really beautiful environment to foster and to grow. So talk a little bit about meeting Gregory, and take us down memory lane just for a little bit, because I always love to know, where did it start and why did you say yes?
I really appreciate that. That inquiry is awesome. I just pulling up the image memory bank, and I feeling that. So it's like, I mean, it began when he walked in my mom's art gallery, and he talks about when he first saw me, it meant a lot somehow, and we were about to not even say what's up again ever, but my family publicist kind of forced me to invite myself to his SAG Awards after party, which was like so uncomfortably ridiculous for me. I don't think I've invited myself like that to anything ever, and I hope I don't. I don't know, but yeah, that was crazy. It's like she's like, anyway. I thought she was gonna start mom out, and chef. I didn't do it, so I was like, let me just do it. And Gregory totally remembered me completely. Everything. We only met briefly. We were introduced at at my mom's art gallery event, but and one thing led to another. He was taking on a few students, actors. At the time, I was a competitive skateboarder, and I wasn't really trying to. I wasn't, I wasn't like clearly an actor. I was more like athlete, and that's my journey. But my, I'm kind of like loose. I'm maybe doing acting. Who knows? Trying it out. Got
Go
to
with the
give everything.
flow.
Yeah, I'm just going with the flow, and the flow was, I guess he was that what the flow brought into my life, and maybe vice versa. But I feel like in a way it was just really special, and I'm able to have been like, we've been just friends, like I'm loyally like brothers, like this whole time, ever since day one, that he actually encouraged the faith in me to proceed, and then faith in me to proceed. And I kind of built some more faith in myself and other friends and family. But he really, like, it meant a lot that Gregory was a working director, and he was doing his movies, and he said, you have this something that I really, really believe in. And I was like, dude, that's all I need to hear to really like not just like really to put a lot of love towards this
Yeah.
journey, this path. So it definitely encouraged me to put more into the path a lot, and it really means a lot. So I feel like we'll always be brothers forever, always working together forever. I know obviously with career stuff, expansion happens, you do other things, other projects, but I'm so happy we have a company together, we have a family together, and I believe in that solid strength to everything. And if you can partner with family with things, like, that's great, that's awesome. They know your way of working, they know you, that you can trust them. I believe in that for sure. It's it's awesome. It
It's that
was
second hand. They just know
yeah,
you. Yeah.
it's another, it's a limb that you have, or that's a body, a second body, whatever, just to give more respect to it. But like, it's it's definitely an awesome thing, and I'm so appreciative of Gregory. Like, I mean, I just had really, before that, my mom was like so encouraging. She was forcing me to do plays on Saturdays sometimes, like when I would just wanted to go skate. So I did it for her. But by the time working with Gregory and doing it in real life, like actual on-set stuff, like that was when it became professionally something. It was then, and I knew it was my choice. She had nothing to do with it. It was nice to feel empowered and actually learning why I actually like this very much. Really, it's just, if anyone's doing something creative, that's great.
Yeah.
And it can be levels of creativity to just about anything. You can put creativity into stuff, but to tap into your creativity is truly like, it's the most gratifying thing. No matter what it would be that I'd be doing otherwise, I'd probably feel most happy when I'm able to tap into creativity while doing it. That's like, I feel like our main purpose, to just be creative the best way we can.
You know, you touched on something. I'm going to tell you a little story. So, my first, not literal introduction to you, but I was working the 2018 Daytime Emmys, and you were being interviewed. And so I was watching you being interviewed. And Kristos, I'm going to be totally honest. I'm watching you and I'm thinking, this guy is, there's something otherworldly about him. I felt as if you had one foot, in this dimension, but you clearly had another foot in some other dimension. And so when I was doing some research for this, and I started reading about your mother, Catherine Andrews, it totally made sense.
Yeah, good.
Totally made sense. I mean, because your mother, my living word, her art, and she was a visionary on so many levels, physically, spiritually. And so I would really love for you to expand just a little bit more. I mean, I know your father has been a wonderful influence on you as well, but I would
Yeah.
really love for you to share the light on your mother just a little bit more, and how she influenced you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your I appreciate you acknowledging that sort of energy and inquiring about it. And yeah, I'd love to explain it in regards to my mom too. Uh, it's interesting. It makes me think, what is this? Soul family. You know,
Mm.
what can we refer to it as? Like, we're akin to one another because she's always been, yeah, obviously spiritually connected through her art. She just channels it. She just says she have a vision, I paint it, and it paints itself, or I paint it, and it's just this different. And that's when you're kind of connected to what can rarely be fully explained, but it's another dimension, so to speak. And you're channeling that into this dimension. And I feel like that's the most profound meaning of being an artist, where you're tapping into. If you're an artist that's profound, you're tapping into something that's greater. And I felt like that's what she was always doing. She was always wise with business as well, business wise. So she managed things obviously in this dimension, as we can say, this reality. She did just fine and great, which I'm proud of as well. But she always identified herself as an artist, as I always see her as, and it's awesome to be like part of that. I guess cut from that cloth. It's not even like I'm still learning. We're very close, but there's still like work that we found of hers in storage and stuff, and it just surprises me in the greatest way how akin to one another we are, and how certain things that are right up my alley were right up her alley, and on that level of like spirit, because I'm more and more grateful about it as life goes. I feel like I realize further, this is the whole point. We're going to, I mean, just to speak a little left field, but hey, let's say we existed before life as spirits, as people, as ourselves, really, and we're just living this life as us as a human being in this life, and we have to kind of understand it's extremely important to be connected with what was before, what's after, what's the through line therein. That's probably the most important thing. It's like we're given amnesia on purpose to authenticate ourselves and understand that we can come around to this stronger understanding of how to be, how to grow, how to navigate better as what we were before and after. I feel like so we're given this amnesia thing. It's really funny. Life, it's beautiful. It's so beautiful, but it's so interesting that how much we don't know, and how much I get excited about the stuff that's in the unknown and what's mysterious. And I'm
Me
really
too.
happy. Good. I'm happy you feel that. It's, because life is mundane otherwise. I feel like
Yeah, it's predictable, and I mean, our imagination, human imagination, is so limited. And
yeah.
so when people or experiences are brought into our lives that enforce or introduce us to the mysterious, it's like,
Yes, exactly. It's amazing. It's the
yeah.
best. It's uh it's the best. I love going into the territory that's unknown, because what's the most interesting thing is behind fear, oftentimes you'll actually find further comfort. You find further comfort in the expansion and the trust that you didn't know was behind that wall of fear because of the unknown. Actually, you feel more empowered because you know more of this unknown. You're expanding. So it's like, it's gratifying. It's very gratifying not to just stay in a comfort zone or in one modality. You have to expand. That's the thing that everyone I would recommend do in any way they feel, but to continually grow and expand and progress that way.
You know, it seems almost like an oxymoron, but in that expansion, do you find that that grounds you?
Yeah, actually, totally. It's most definitely. I can bring it to sort of the rudimentary like phrase of knowledge is power.
Mm.
But this is the type of knowledge that's even more powerful, that to understand, like one can be book smart, they can understand a lot about certain subjects, but the most important subject to not overlook is exactly this one. At Spirit, really what's this force behind the meaning of our existence? Like what's that? Like that's the most important thing to inquire about and to understand further about, and to expand your knowledge about. Here you feel the knowledge and understanding more as you inquire about it. You research, you meditate on it, and feel this connection of, all right, you learn a lot on levels that can't even be explained, and it's a beautiful feeling. And that definitely grounds me, most definitely. I was less grounded. I'm I'd say each day I'm more grounded, generally speaking, because I've had the opportunity to explore further this way.
You know, speaking of when you're talking about spirit, so the show, the Bay series, um, is about a socially prominent and powerful family, the Garrett family, who is cursed. Do you believe in curses?
I don't support them. And I don't know if I believe in them. I mean, I know there's a lot of history to the idea of curse, or how curses are done, and I know that it adds that nice mysterious element to the show, which is fun to play with because you can go in many directions with it.
Yeah.
You can even bring the light into the dark. You can do a lot of very interesting things that would otherwise have just been normal life stuff. But as long as it's done in an authentic, believable enough, you can follow this kind of a way. It's really fun. So I love that. And I don't know if I mean, I guess I could believe in intent, which I guess is what would be behind a cursor, someone wielding one.
Mm.
And I feel like, that's something. Intent is something. But I feel like you're, as a individual, or anyone as a group or an individual, it's like, it's only as strong as how much it's almost, I guess it's up to you how strong it's going to be, because you have this connection with a force, which what we know is God, which call it whatever anyone would like to, but there's a connection that's very strong, much stronger than any curse can ever have.
Yeah, what you said about, it boils down to what you give power to.
Yes, exactly. It's
Yeah.
what you give power to, and that is your decision. It's intentional. We always have a choice of what to focus on, or to give power to, or our attention or our energy to.
When you talk about what you give power to, kind of leads into the inevitable topic of this pandemic that we're living through right now. And so you posted on Instagram, let me pull up this quote. Some days life is all about your dreams, hopes, and visions for the future. But there are some days where life is just about putting one foot in front of the other, and that's okay.
Nice.
And yeah, and I read that and I thought, oh my gosh, that's what it feels like right now,
Yeah,
living and navigating through this pandemic. What has it been like for you?
most definitely. I agree, and I align with that. Putting one foot in front of the other is honestly the best way to do it, because you manage the idea of what there is ahead to move forward into a lot better by putting one foot in front of the others, focusing on that step of
Even
that.
when you don't know where you're going.
Yeah, even if you don't know, but you know this one foot in front of this other foot, this foot is bringing you to a better place. Slowly but surely, and to focus your energy on that is just okay and just fine. You don't have to see the whole road, the whole journey, the whole staircase. You take one step, take another step. The one step will always kind of, like, the next step is big, this begets this step, like this step will beget that step, which will beget the next step naturally, kind of. And you're able to just focus on each step and keep it simple, and just keep faith basically as you go forward. It's definitely, yeah, it's a lot to, we're being hit with a lot of stuff that's just obviously unprecedented, but
Yeah.
it's not, it's painful. It's disconcerting. It's like a lot of people don't really know how to feel, and what sucks is like being out of work for a lot of people, and there's a lot going on that I really sympathize with, and even for myself. But I tend to look outwards rather than the inward look, and just see a lot. I care a lot about my close ones, obviously, and my good friends, and I hope that there's a mixture of being able to adapt the best way we can, just be loose and kind of head on a swivel and ready to adapt in the best ways we can. Obviously, it's not easy, but also to sort of just keep moving. It's like there's a huge difference between stagnation and moving slowly, because you're still moving and figuring it out, and just it's always a choice of how to think. And there's always a contrast of negative, positive, the bad things to acknowledge about a situation, good things to acknowledge about a situation. So it's important to try to get that habit of acknowledging what's good about the situation, obviously without disregarding entirely what's bad, because you need to stay aware of everything, but to indulge the feeling on what's good about the situation.
When you talk about, the importance of keeping moving, the Bay resumed production on its 6th season after being shut down, on the onset of this whole pandemic. And you've worked on, let's say, it's the second half of season 5 and all of season 6. And it looks like this is going to be released like late August through December.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're still on track for those releases?
I must defer to the release date being not my call.
Yeah.
Not to remove responsibility.
Well, I only bring it up because, everyone's just kind of like waiting.
Yeah, true.
It's so good. It's so good. And it's like, we understand the challenges right now, but
I appreciate it. I love that too.
It's like, just waiting.
It's like, it's what my dog, my
exactly. That's where I get it from. We have 2. So I got the we're waiting look down.
Yeah, I love it. It's cute. That can be the we're waiting, or the likely to do anything for me kind of. Like it makes me like, oh, let me like do anything because it's cute. But yeah, I mean, as far as I'm so grateful we're able to pull it off. But,
my gosh.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's interesting. I don't know whether to attribute it to, I mean, obviously, man, the team is amazing. Amazing. We just had a great setup, a great protocol medically, and everybody, the crew, amazing. The complaining levels versus the just being strong and going at it levels are amazing. The ratio is like, I don't even think I heard a complaint, really. Everyone was just happy to be working, and everyone was being safe, wearing masks, obviously, even despite the fact that on this ranch, which is like our bubble, you enter having been pre-tested and tested negative, obviously, and now everyone's on the same safe haven of a space. Everyone has their own room kind of thing. And we just banged it out like that. Everyone had their own room. Everyone was tested beforehand. They come onto this ranch. Everything's there. We had cooks. We had everything we needed, all the amenities, just comfort for living. And it was really a great situation. It's my friend Meadow Williams' ranch, and which is Jared Kessler's ranch, who founded Nature's Plus Vitamins, and I feel like I should acknowledge that. And also,
Yeah, Meadow and Swen, they're amazing.
yeah, Swen is an awesome scene partner and friend, and it's been great working with him as well. It's a good time. It's such a good time. It's great. This ranch, it's interesting how preserved it still is, despite the fact that we built sets. Sets were built like to do all of the bay stuff, but it's been preserved since even when Ray Kroc had this ranch, who out of McDonald's. He got married in the same place that we actually filmed a wedding this season.
Oh my gosh, that must have been so cool.
Yeah, and it looks the same. Like Gregory did some research, and he's like, wow, it's still the same look. It's still, all the furniture is even the same. Like,
Wow.
so where this wedding is, I'm not gonna say who or what, but but it's the same setup and look as Ray Kroc's wedding. So that was cool.
I love that
But
Gregory actually did the homework and like paid an homage to the authenticity of it. That's great.
yeah, it is great. That's awesome. I'm grateful about the whole situation.
You know,
Carrie just
you you guys, the production company released a statement, and I'm going to read the statement about you guys just filming and ending production, because this goes back to what we were saying of how there's no game book to refer to as going through this pandemic. Everything is upside down. Historically speaking, I mean, we've had pandemics at the turn of the century, but historically speaking, from our perspective, there's nothing for us to refer to. And so there was a statement that was released. It said, strictly adhering to the newly established industry guidelines, Lonnie Entertainment and the Bay producers have implemented rigorous safety standards and protocols, including a skeleton crew and most of the cast being quarantined on a private 800-acre property, in addition to regular COVID-19 testing and mandatory daily temperature checks from on-set medical professionals.
That's right.
And I'm thinking, okay, well, this should go into the game book right now. Mm-hmm. Because going forward, this is what needs to happen. In order to keep working, because everybody wants to keep working. Who doesn't want to keep working? You guys love what you do. This is how you do it.
That's right. And it's, yeah, you're exactly right. This is exactly how you do it. We kind of just went in almost without, I feel like we had to go into it without any fear. Only good planning. Because fear is no match for good planning. So we just planned it and planned it.
That's fascinating. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good mantra, I think. Fear is no match for good planning.
Yeah.
Good planning. Fear kind of just dissipates, and we don't have to, because any little fear is there, great, thank you, to help you acknowledge the details that just need to be planned around or within. You just need to get through these things that are causing it. Like, oh, okay, this could go wrong, that could go wrong, this could go wrong. But it's good to have that fear for that, not to indulge it, but you would analyze and you just plan. And we did that. And thank God it worked out. And everybody followed suit. Everybody, I mean, nobody got any, it was great. We didn't have to shut down. Like so many productions I heard had to shut down. Major productions had to shut down. And another one had to shut down. And I'm just so grateful. We're like Thomas the Tank Engine heading up. We managed to just really do it. It was great. I'm really happy about it. I'm grateful for everybody involved. I mean, everyone was great. The medical team, the crew was great. The actors, our cast, everybody was so with it that it was amazing. And Gregory was great at directing and kind of leading the ship that way.
Yeah.
Our ADs and everybody, everyone was great. And our hospital staff was through one of our partners, Precious Mays, which is Pacifica Hospital, and they have a great regimen as well. And we kind of like tailored it to the shoot, and we just did everything. Carrie Shane, who was an actress but also a nurse, was checking everyone's temperature.
That's fantastic.
I walk out at my door in the morning to get in a temperature to the forehead and then before lunch forehead. she's coming at you like bam, like a temperature reader instead of being punched in the face. Yeah, so everyone kind of knew a certain position.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it was like, it was good. It was definitely, it was good. Everything was, and thank God, and the content is so profound. I can't wait for you to see this. It's profound content. And
Yeah.
everybody put their A game into it. It was awesome. And I had a great time. It was awesome.
So speaking of A games, since I have the luxury of your time here, I'm going to be a fangirl and ask you, what's it been like working with Ron Moss?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's great. He's an awesome guy. Ron he's family to me. He's like, should I call him like a uncle, father figure, but more like a brother figure. It's more like a brother figure to me. He's family in that, like, you can't really put a label. It's fun not to put labels on things, but he's family like this, and he's an awesome guy. He's chilling. He's funny. He's kind. He's generous. He has the right intentions in each and every moment, and he doesn't let up on them. Like, it's not like a phoned in, like, oh, good behavior and then not, or whatever. It's always just naturally he's good, and I really like Ron. I just was catching up with him like 2 days ago, and yeah, same great guy. He's over in Italy with Devin, and yeah, he's definitely a cool, very. It inspires me that he's just chilling and he's cool and he's been in this business for a long time. So it's nice to see that you're able to you withstand everything and keep on going with this strong center point of peace, I guess, to call it. It's really nice.
So you and Gregory were on his YouTube show, Ron's Garage.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is that about? It was just like a conversation type of thing in his garage, or?
No, it's funny because it's like his garage is awesome because it looks like a kitchen. But nonetheless, it's a garage because, it's more badass, I guess, to call it. That's kind of what he's down with. So.
That's funny.
Yeah. But that was fun. Yeah, we just caught up. We hung out. It was comfortable, same old thing, like, or same new thing. It was cool. We hung out and we chatted and did a sort of interview thing while sort of a hangout vibe.
That's so cool. I have to check it out. People should check it out for sure.
Yeah, definitely check it out. Ron's Garage. He's an awesome guy. So I'm sure he makes the interviews and the hangouts really fun and interesting. He's good.
I can learn some tips from him. Some interview tips.
Well, whatever you pick up on that you like, I don't know.
Yeah. I want to talk about, so from the Bay, the series, there's a spinoff, the YA. And that's another one that's like,
yes,
with the D'Ambrosio twins, but so correct me if I'm wrong.
Those twins, I love them.
I know, they're gems, aren't they?
Yeah,
you directed. You did some directing on the show, and I love, like, you posted. Let me see. You said #directing upcoming show at YA series at my high school.
Yeah, that's right.
So come on, what did that feel like? That's like I'm back at my high school directing.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was such a full circle feeling. I loved it. It was what a trip, because I was going to high school there. I was working on the halls and doing that high school thing, and here I am back actually filming a show that's a high school show, and it was a nice full circle, like actually being in the director position with Gregory, of course, and it was great. It was just a great time, and it was I guess it was. Yeah, it just felt so full circle. Like, I wouldn't have ever imagined when I was attending the school that I'd be back, like doing this, what I dreamed to do. It's like being in entertainment, television, uh, acting, directing, like, and I think the dream of that is just like pipe dream, kind of light as at the time, just I don't, but here it is in reality, and I think it's come along a little sooner than I could have expected, and I'm really grateful for that.
Talk a little bit about A Place Called Hollywood.
A Place Called Hollywood.
Yeah.
I I loved that. It was a very special project where it's funny because Gregory just wrote it in like 3 weeks.
Of course he did.
Yeah, just yeah, as he does, and he just kind of had this feeling, this inspiration about a story for a movie initially, and then it became a series. Um, he had this, there needs to be a story that's told about coming into Hollywood for the initial stages, like welcome, here's Hollywood, here's all the like stuff that people don't, I guess, really talk about, or successful actors don't talk about the initial stages to the journey, which can be super awkward or super just controversial or whatever. It's just a very interesting intro usually. So that deserved to be like held a light to and shown, and not in any like bad way, but in a fun, enjoyable, like following the initial stages of the journey kind of a way. There's a lot of comedy in it and a lot of deep, profound truths in it too. This is an honor to work on that, and he just he brought the project to me, and of course I would accept it. He's my bro anyway, and we work well together, and it was fun.
So you don't have to think about it anymore. It's just like, yeah, of course. Sure. Okay.
for like him being my bro, or it's like a roll in on for like I don't know. I'm just grateful though for either or both.
What other projects do you have coming down the pike that you can talk about?
And there's one that's in post that I can't really talk much about, but it's fun. It's exciting. It's a what can I say? It's like it's a thriller. It's like a horror thriller. So it's like exciting, fun. It would bring you right out of your, a viewer will probably exit their current reality just to enter into this. It pulls you, it tugs you right into like this high stakes situation, post-apocalyptic. That was a
love that genre. I love horror.
Yeah, it has its way of, it definitely just wakes you up, and you just yeah. It perks you up as your existence is just fully there. You're like, even though it's on a screen, you're totally immersed. It's great horror stuff. Not that I really like seek out horror stuff, but it was fun to work on it.
Exactly. I was just going to say, as an actor, it's got to be tons of fun.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, definitely.
So it's cooking. It's cooking. Not a lot of details, but there's something cooking, and we can look forward to that at some point.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, good.
I look forward to it. It's cooking.
It's cooking. So before we say adieu, have you heard of the Proust questionnaire?
I don't think I have, actually.
Okay. So I only found out about it because I was an avid reader of Vanity Fair magazine, and they would have the Proust questionnaire at the very end of every issue. And so this was literally what they called a parlor game at the turn of the century, during Victorian times, actually. And it was a list of 35 questions that they said, if you ask someone one of these questions, it's going to reveal their true essence, who they really are.
Awesome.
So I'm going to ask you, let's see, how are we doing on time? Okay. So I'm going to ask you to pick two numbers between 1 and 35.
Okay. Hmm. I'll I'll do well. I want to honor Kobe, so I'm going to say 24.
24? Okay, let's start with 24.
Okay.
Let's see what 24 says. What is your favorite occupation?
Oh well, yeah,
Because you
most
kind of
definitely.
do it all. I mean, you direct, act. What is your favorite occupation?
Oh yeah, yeah, that's cool. I appreciate it. It's interesting because I feel like each one is a form of creativity at its core, and you extend it into a different aspect of it, or
Mm.
looking at the same sort of creativity from a different angle, from each different position. I can't say
You
I mean,
have to. You have to pick
yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah. I guess, and it's
Today, in this
obvious.
moment.
Yeah, it's an obvious answer. Yeah, right here. The acting.
Okay.
I do enjoy directing because I enjoy being fully activated creatively and just having the full picture of the spectrum and how to tweak each thing and make it as strong as you can and as impactful and powerful. But that can be done through the position of an actor as well. But with as an actor, you're able to sort of step out of your own shoes and not obviously not so fully, but you're able to loosen up this like MO that people think they enter life with one. They choose one way to be. That's it.
Yep,
No,
this box. Yep.
yeah, there's you're not people are a lot less boxed than they tend to believe. That's just one aspect, one modality. People are a lot greater and a lot more than who they think they are. So acting helps loosen that up and open that up, and I enjoy that process because I'm able to tap into and empathize with different walks of life, different circumstances, at the same time bringing catharsis to life
Mm,
experience.
I love
Yeah,
that.
so it's a mixture of those two. You're on a clearing the cathartically clearing what you have in you from your life experience and tapping that and giving it its moment and truth and you're also exploring imaginatively different circumstances from which you draw the same conclusions that you could have drawn from real life circumstance anyway. So it's almost like living on an expedited path.
I love that. So you get to pick one more number between 1 and
Uh,
35.
let's go for. I mean, people are afraid of the number 13, so I might as well go into that.
Yeah?
Speaking of, yeah,
Because we don't believe in curses, right?
no, of course.
Oh, here, this is interesting. What is the quality you most like in a woman?
I like what I've come to know is I like straightforwardness. I like honesty. I like kindness. You know, when two people are attracted to each other. I mean, I'm so grateful for the girls that I've known, the women that I've known in my life, and I've had relationships with, and it's always brought us to a deeper point of understanding towards one another, sort of like mirrors to one another, and
Mm,
that's the whole point. I feel like because that's how we grow, and even though it's on a timeline, there's a beginning, there's an end, there's that's the trick is how to end but feel all right still and good as we proceed, like meant to be timeline, living in this like through third dimension where it's a timeline, you know. So it's been what I like most is probably when just openness. That's what's fun to me. It's like how honest she could be and how open and honestly how kind she or thoughts she can decide to be. That means a lot to me, and also obviously fun
yeah.
and
Yeah, you do
lighthearted.
have a little bit of an adrenaline fixation, so she better be willing to have some fun.
Yeah, that's cool. That's definitely right.
Awesome. Well, before we head out, I want you to be able to tell people where they can binge the Bay.
Okay, you can binge the Bay on Amazon Prime Video, and you can look on the website www.thebaytheseries.com. The handle for both Instagram and Twitter everything is The Bay, the series. So yeah, it's on Amazon, and then also soon the overseas with different territories, which is exciting as well.
Australia, yeah?
Yeah, in Australia already.
That's
So
fantastic.
thank you.
And where can
Yeah.
people find you?
My handle for most everything is just my first name, Kristos, Kristos. So at Kristos, you'll find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Facebook Kristos Andrews, of course. But yeah, I tend to use Instagram the most, just between everything that's going on all the time. Like it's easy to just open that up and tap into it for a sec. But yeah, that's
Perfect.
at Kristos.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you again for your time today, Kristos.
Thank you.
And I'm looking forward to this interview airing because there's so much beauty to what you had to say about just your personal experience and your experience working on the Bay with everyone. And so thank you again for your time. I so appreciate it.
That really means so much to me, Tami. Thank you for saying so. And thank you for having me.
We will do this again soon, I promise.
Yeah, thank you. I look forward to it.
All right. Thank you. Goodbye, everyone.